August 19th, 2026, at the time of this live recording. I thought I turned my notifications off. Well, they're still popping up. Okay, I was really trying to reduce as many distractions today as possible because I'm like so over every time. I'm about to delete all the apps and I don't know, get up and start doing my readings at 3 o'clock in the morning or something because when I say the distractions be distracting and I don't like that. I don't. But we're gonna move on. It just popped up literally as soon as I logged on and I literally went in the app and turned off the notifications. But anyway, anyhow, I trust, hope, and pray that wherever you are in the world, that you are well, mind, body, and spirit. I saw the Hierophant and the High Priestess. Good googly moogly. With the Ten of Cups. I'm going to say what I think it is. We're going to see what the cards say. Okay? Oh, it looks like what I'm thinking. The message is looking like it's looking. All right. I know this is a different look for me than most are used to seeing. I don't normally do fun looks. This is something I would normally consider to be more childish. No offense to the adults who like to wear pigtails, but you know, this isn't something I would normally go for. But you know, when I made my video to show how the hair turned out after I took the rods out for our Experience Black collection, I was like, let me style it, and this was the easiest and quickest and first thing that came to mind, and I was just like, okay, it works. I look young, I do, but hey, let's go with it. Okay. So yes, if I didn't say it already, I trust, hope, and pray that wherever you are in the world, you are well, mind, body, and spirit. That was justice. It didn't flip over, but it's there. Okay. Okay. With the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. Thank you, Divine Source, for clear and direct messages, insight, and guidance to support us in this energy. This is just another Make It Make Sense collective reading and energy forecast. The messages are timeless. Okay. Our first card out is Nine of Cups. So someone is most definitely feeling very stable in their emotions, very grounded, you know, practicing a high level of emotional intelligence. You know, I'm getting there's possibly been some situations that have tried to knock someone off their square or off their throne, and she has her legs and arms crossed to say, you tried it, but you didn't succeed, you know, because I am who I am and I know who I am, and you know, yes, I may get flustered, you know, bothered, uncomfortable for a moment, but Nine of Cups means it will be a very quick, short moment in passing, and you know, I'll be regrouping and get grounded and let it go, okay? Because ain't nobody got time to be upset, angry, confused, dissatisfied, you know, all that stuff that doesn't represent this energy, basically. Go ahead, Nine of Cups energy come through. All right, we have the Four of Swords with the Star, okay? So, what I'm getting here is someone has needed to do some self-healing work, maybe taking some time in nature to get grounded, to restore their energy. I'm getting that someone may have been managing mental conflict and confusion, stress in that regard, mind games. People may have been trying to disturb someone's quality of rest, okay? Causing someone to not feel well in their body, maybe doing some sort of cursing or, magic. I'm saying with those swords hanging over her head or her body, maybe like weird stuff along the lines of like voodoo. Someone may be trying to pierce, you know, your energy, your auric field, your actual physical body potentially. Um, I'm also getting the way she's holding her head and her stomach. There could have been like crown magic, womb magic, um, just attempts at disturbing someone's rest, someone's quality of rest, disturbing someone's peace, disturbing someone's balance here with the star. And this is showing me that this is someone who is very attractive, in high demand, someone who, a lot of people are drawn to, maybe some type of muse energy, you inspire others, more than likely creative people, and you've been finding healthy ways to manage the not so favorable things that come with that, mind games, manipulation, stress. It looks like more or less from outside influences mainly, okay? But you have been prioritizing your health and well-being and getting the rest needed, okay? You have the Page of Cups here. I'm getting this could be some sort of apology from somebody somewhere. Someone may be feeling guilty about something that was done or said. And they realize the errors of their ways and want to offer some sort of apology to get some sort of forgiveness. Now, whether or not it's genuine, we'll see. But that's what I'm getting here from this card. This could be someone that you know or someone you don't know. And if you don't know them, that's very interesting. This could be someone that's younger than you. Okay, I'm getting this could be like a sibling, like a younger sibling, or potentially a family member or something like that, or someone connected to you in that regard. I'm getting someone could also be trying to offer some sort of peace offering. We have the Queen of Pentacles here. Okay. The Queen of Pentacles, we know, is a woman, but it could be someone in this energy, okay? It could be any sex, any gender in the energy if we're just looking at it from an energetic stance. Someone that's in a more feminine energy, but they're practical, okay? They're very good when it comes with resources, managing them, allocating them, This could be some sort of finance seer, some sort of financial advisor, finance manager, a banker, teller, account manager, financial advisor, some sort of agent in the financial industry or financial services industry. I'm getting that this could be someone who manages larger quantities of money. So this could be like a business account manager, or someone that works with business owners more specifically, or commercial loans or lending or something like that. Investments and trades, investors, someone that helps people with managing their portfolios, whether they're starting and creating and building on it, at different stages as possible. I'm getting a bank manager. That's interesting. I don't normally get all these specific positions for this Queen of Pentacles energy, but the Queen of Pentacles, outside of money matters and job titles, more specifically, she's very nurturing. Okay, she's someone that's good with growing things. So whether that is like plants, or she could be someone that's in, like the beauty industry, a hairstylist, she grows hair, or she's good with her hands, okay? She's more of a healer, a more healing energy, okay? Very beautiful, very elegant and graceful, okay? Highly respected. She knows her self-worth and value, okay? She carries herself with class, for sure, okay? She could also be someone who travels, or even travels for work, has a desire to. I'm definitely getting someone that's in high demand, and someone who either does or will be teaching what it is that she knows, from the skills that she has, okay? She's a mother. She's a very great mother, okay? Phenomenal mother. Very nurturing, if I didn't say that already. We got the Hierophant here, okay? All right, so the Hierophant is someone who is respected for their wisdom, their experience, their ability to, give direction, give order, give guidance, okay? I'm hearing this could be someone that has some sort of keys. Originally, I heard keys to a city or something like that, but keys to a vault, keys to, whatever, okay? But those keys were earned, okay? This is someone who shares their wisdom and gives guidance to those that come to them for it, okay? This could even be an energy that, like, marries people or something like that. I'm hearing justice of the peace or something like that. Um, I'm also getting let me hold up before I 10 of Wands to clarify the 4 of Wands. Okay. The Hierophant and the 9 of Cups might be giving someone access, maybe deciding if someone, has graduated or, they've been initiated into something or something like that with the 9 of Cups. We have the Page of Prayer with the 4 of Swords. Okay, so that definitely confirms, that there have been some sort of work, spiritual work being done on someone. Someone could have been paying someone to cause someone some sort of nightmares or bodily harm or some sort of unwellness, sickness, whether it be mentally, physically, with it being a page. I'm hearing this person may have been like immature and inexperienced, they knew how to do certain things, but they weren't like, there's levels to knowing when it comes to spirituality. We have the Ace of Pentacles here to clarify the Star. Okay, so after someone recovers, from the time they may take to retreat, to rest, and recuperate their energy, they have some sort of abundant blessing, on the other side when they get back to work. With the Star energy, depending on, what a person does, okay? I mentioned a whole lot of different job titles and things that I was picking up with the Queen of Pentacles, as well as the Hierophant. This could also be some sort of spiritual teacher, leader, or guide if this is one person's energy, or this could be multiple people, different parties in person's energy, okay? So, the Ace of Pentacles is pretty much clearing out whatever little magic was done to manipulate someone's destiny. I'm hearing with the Star here, attempts to disrupt or destroy someone's finances, okay? So whatever and whoever was responsible for that type of energy and activity, they're going to get what they were sending out in return, karma. But on the other hand, the person who was burdened and, put in very unfortunate situations due to what was being sent and directed towards them, they're going to be rewarded, tenfold, okay? So they may have, while resting, the prayer and meditation that they may have been, practicing or saying or speaking over themselves. I'm definitely getting someone who knows how to heal thyself, okay? So, they might have been asking Source, the Almighty, the Most High God, to bless their mind, bless their body, heal their mind, heal their body, you know, and through praying for their recovery, their recuperation, um, of their health, their vitality, and their energy. They were also, you know, doing return to senders, okay, whether it was consciously or unconsciously, or with the hierophant here, could have been their spirit team, their guardian angels, um, and those who look over their energy and watch over them, because of, you know, I'm getting some sort of rank, you know, some sort of responsibility that this energy has. Um, you know, there's a team, a divine team backing them up. So they could have been doing the work on their behalf as far as blocking and returning to sender type of stuff. Okay, so the Ace of Pentacles is, you know, present for the star. Okay, we have the Page of Swords to clarify the Page of Cups. Okay, so where I was saying in the Page of Cups, it looked like this could be someone who wanted to apologize or wanted some sort of forgiveness for whatever. You know, the Page of Swords is letting me know that it could have been something that they may have spoken or said or shared, about someone that, you know, they may have found out wasn't necessarily true. They may have just been, you know, repeating something that they heard, without validating whether or not it was accurate. Okay, and gossip, slander, that's what the Page of Swords is. Or it could have been something where the Page of Swords also represents like the web, social media. So something that they may have gotten from, you know, like fake news, unreliable resources, basically. And, you know, just went ahead with what was being said and done to someone, you know, participating in something. So we got the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Page of Cups. We have three very, I'm getting immature females who work together to cause, you know, misfortune for this Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Cups energy. But they didn't know how highly protected this individual was. I'm not sure how long they've known them or how long, you know, like those details I'm not clear of, but clearly they haven't known each other long enough to have come together to try to play the games that they've been playing, you know, to cause someone the problems that they tried to cause. And with the Page of Cups, it's giving me someone who maybe wasn't really trying to engage or participate, but they may have done it, you know, just to kind of fit in or get along, you know, with the clique or, you know, whatever. And that's why they want to apologize. Or they may have experienced some of the backlash from something that was done. Yeah, most definitely, I was right. The Six of Cups. You know, this is some sort of apology or some sort of offering. Someone recognizes who someone is and they may want to like work with them or collaborate with them now. They may have done so much dirt digging and investigating and trying to find out, you know, bad or not so good information about someone, and through it they found out that they were genuinely who they presented themselves to be, a very loving, caring, just a good-hearted person who does their best, strives to, operate with integrity, okay, with respect, you know, gives which they require or, expect in return, okay? And getting someone may even like look up to someone that they previously tried to cause problems for. Nine of Cups, the Hierophant. Clarify the Nine of Cups and the Hierophant. Clarify. You got the Eight of Cups. Okay. So this is where someone decided to practice self-love, the type of self-love that requires you to walk away from and separate yourself from people, places, situations, connections and opportunities that aren't supportive of you maintaining, a high vibration, a healthy mindset and, state of being. I'm getting, you definitely had energies like with these immature energies here, pages in comparison to the Queen. I'm getting this Queen of Pentacles may have even offered, whether it been opportunities or, gifts, whether they were aware of it or not, okay? Because the Queen of Pentacles doesn't always, she's generous, okay? She's, able to be generous because, that's her energy, okay? So this is someone that could refer and give recommendations to a person, like let's say if they have a service or a product or a business or something like that, and the Queen of Pentacles recognizes someone may just could use some sort of exposure or sees where someone has something of quality and something good and they want to genuinely just support them and help them and do that and not look for nothing in return. So I'm getting here that that's what was done here. And, the pages here, this might have been the Queen of Pentacles energy, looking very, everyday, nothing spectacular, you wouldn't expect that she's really who she is, when she's sitting on her throne with her crown and her pinnacle, when she comes off and she's just serving and, working and giving back, it doesn't require all that as far as the crown and the wardrobe, and you can't take the throne with you where you go to serve. So you might see her, more casual and just giving and misinterpret that or don't appreciate that and take it for granted and feel like, you're either better than or you can be better than, her energy, and find out, later on that she genuinely wanted to help me and support me and have my best interests at heart. And I was not mature, wise, and experienced enough to recognize and appreciate that is what I'm getting with this energy. And I think that's the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords strike me as probably they were just haters. They could be these two energies here that, this Hierophant block access they were able to see what they were doing in the spirit realm to manipulate someone's energy, and it was blocked. Okay, it was like baby magic, kitchen magic. Like it was, they tried, but it was seen, it was blocked, and the divine is like, now I gotta just bless this energy on another level for all that they've overcome and had the strength and self-love enough to walk away from. We got the Wheel of Fortune, okay? Because walking away, usually, in many cases, it costs something, okay? Seven of Pentacles, okay, with the Temperance, most definitely, okay? So as I stated, walking away cost something. Someone had to weigh their options, they had to take an honest assessment and look at, the Queen of Pentacles. She's financially savvy, and anybody, no matter how smart they are, how degreed up they are, and educated, I said smart, but how educated they are, how wise they are and experienced they are, anybody can go through, life's and ups and downs and challenges and so forth, and find themselves in situations where, they're either pinching pennies or working with less than what they're used to, and having, more responsibilities than resources flowing consistent enough. I just made a post earlier, sharing my personal situation in that regard, and I can recognize this energy. So you can vibrate, and people know you as a Queen of Pentacles type energy, but you could still be here where it's just like, okay, I gotta take a minute to maybe, cut back on a few expenses, or, bills, or, maybe budget a little bit different for the next 3 to 6 months, while the things that I left and walked away from are replaced, okay, by the hand of God. That may take some time. I don't know how fast and how much, God's gonna come through. So I want to budget responsibly, in the meantime, to make sure I'm covered with the Seven of Pentacles here. So taking an honest assessment as to what's coming in, what's going out, and making the adjustments where they need to be. That's what a Queen of Pentacles, knows how to do. Okay? A Queen of Pentacles recognized every day isn't necessarily going to be rainbows and, flowers and, sunshine and all the beautiful things that we love and appreciate, but learning how to be tempered, how to be balanced, how to, manage the stormy, rainy days, the misfortune that comes from situations that are out of our control, staying level where it's 1 foot on the earth, 1 foot in the water, and, being able to alchemize, energy to restore and get the outcome that you need, okay? So got the Star here with Temperance. These are both healing cards, okay? So again, this is someone who knows how to heal thyself, but they also have connections and relationships, whether it's with earth angels, like humans who embody, angelic energy, or they have a divine spirit team who, you know, when they are in a resting state or when they're receptive to the healing, they're able to, do some powerful healing work for them when they're allowing it, because that's an important part of that. Okay. We have the Emperor here. So the Emperor is clarifying the Star with the Ace of Pentacles, as well as the Page of Cups and Page of Swords. So this Emperor energy knows, you know, what's been going on, okay, with the Queen of Pentacles. This is someone who has a high level of access, okay, whether it be through relationships or, you know, just tools, technology. This is someone who sits on a throne also, Aries energy, okay, for sure. But someone who's able to see things from a more elevated perspective than the average person, okay? This is someone who has people that report to them, you know, information that they may be inquiring and looking for or not, okay? So, with that being said, someone is aware of what someone has had the strength and the courage to overcome, and they, in some way, shape, or form, I'm not sure to what degree, involved in helping them to recuperate, you know, their energy, their resources. So with the Star and the Ace of Pentacles, this could be someone offering someone some sort of job. I'm hearing a contract of some sort of agreement, an opportunity to work together in some way, some shape or form. And I heard someone say this earlier, I can't remember which platform it was on, but I've heard this a number of times. Okay, it's not a new saying, but it's a real one, okay, where God has a way, and this says it like nothing else I've ever seen. This layout with the Ace of Pentacles crowned by the Star, with Temperance, the Emperor, and then on the other side of the Emperor you have the Page of Cups with the Page of Swords. That's saying, God setting your table in front of your enemies, like that saying, however you say it, that one. That's this energy for sure. So the Queen of Pentacles is going to be able to be in her soft, feminine essence, again, from some sort of opportunity that she's going to be blessed with, okay? It's going to afford her the opportunity to truly heal, okay, but also to be able to give back, be able to be present and, offer more, do more, for not only herself, because as a queen, she genuinely enjoys when she's able to, give and do for others, okay? So, this bunny's here showing that, she's one with nature, okay? Like, nature loves and appreciates her energy. But then you have, children, young people, or students. These could be people who she could also somehow, pour into and you know, give back to. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, we love this, don't we? Okay, so the Six of Wands with the High Priestess. Okay. With the Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So it's time to celebrate. It is time to celebrate. Yeah. Your enemies are going to shake it in their boots. They're gonna, you know, the one that wanted to offer the apology, you know, may still try, so you'll know if that happens. But then they might, you know, feel so embarrassed and ashamed for, you know, how they were moving and what they were doing and saying that they may not. But they're either way, they're definitely going to see, you know, how you bounce back, you know, how you are elevated and respected and appreciated, admired. Okay. Um, I'm getting that you may have a remote job. Okay, something that I got travel earlier. I did say travel for work. So you could either have like some sort of like home-based business or something like that, or you might do remote work from wherever you are, from your laptop, from your phone. You know, we have those luxuries these days. Okay, so you're not stuck anywhere, any one place. Okay, and I'm hearing with that Ace of Pentacles contract, or financial blessing or reward, that if there was any sort of contracts or agreements that you were in that may have appeared to be, you know, blocking you or stopping you from the opportunity to move forward or move like you would want to move, or maybe move into a new home, a new vehicle, or a new country or place or whatever, like you're going to be able to have enough resources. The blessing is going to come with the type of resources and flexibility that allows you to break those contracts if you need to and want to move as freely as you want and need to, is what I'm getting here. And you're going to have all the support and protection that you need from this high priestess. This could be your energy or someone who you look up to, or someone who, you know, is some sort of advisor or mentor or coach or something like that of yours. Someone who has your best interests at heart and genuinely wants to see you succeed at, you know, whatever it is that you do. So they're not gonna like steer you in the wrong direction ever. Okay, this is someone who is also very successful, so you know they're not looking to take anything from you. Okay, like that's not that type of party. They have their own success, and you know they see your light with the star. They see, you know, your skill level. You know, they see the value that you have, that you know that you have. Okay, your self-worth and value is up there with the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so this is someone who is a lot like you. They could be older than you, or just more experienced than you in your field. And I'm getting this could be a new field as well. Like it could be some sort of career change that is transpiring. Okay. Very good energy though. Very beautiful energy. Let me see. I usually start out with our soul cards, but I'm curious to see what comes out here. with the High Priestess coming out like this. I'm hearing you have a strong team of advisors, like spiritual advisors, financial advisors. You probably got or will have like a personal trainer, or you've had those in the past, and you know what you know to maintain. You talk about even a nutritionist, like you got a team, a health specialist, and even a good therapist, somebody, a good friend that you can rely on and trust with things that you wouldn't want to just share with anybody. You have someone that you can talk to and confide in. If this emperor just so happens to be like a divine masculine, a husband or a significant other, that person could potentially be that for you as well, okay? With the Ace of Pentacles and the Temperance, he's definitely a provider. He's definitely someone who's going to protect you and make sure that, nothing happens to you as long as, it's in his power, okay? He's sitting on the throne with the Ankh in his hand, like, I got you, I got us. I see you, you see me. You know what I mean? Like, we in this. And y'all both know that y'all have a very solid, strong, squad of earth angels and heavenly angels that just will go to spiritual war for you, and they have already. Overall energy. As a matter of fact, let's dive a little deeper. Okay. That's so funny. Like, I'm telling you, these cards, this deck never ceases to amaze me. Shout out to, what is it, Oracle? What's his name? King Carew. Because I got this deck from his store. But, in Columbia, South Carolina on Broad River. But this might be TMI. But you see this red stomach hair, this red on the stomach hair, someone's like laying down and relaxing and, being creative and, just, when I see this card, I think about a woman on her menstrual cycle. And this is when it shows up for me. And so I just find that very interesting. At the consistency, this has to be at least the third time that has happened. And that's really like, once I release the things that may be on the surface, that may be like things you don't want to really have to deal with, but in real life you have to deal with things that you don't want to have to deal with. So once you get past that, like, this is how I am. I'm very creative, very intuitive, just wanting to be relaxing, chilling, and letting my body do what it does naturally without, the drama. Because, sometimes when it's that time, if you're around the wrong energy, the wrong people, you can go from 0 to 60 in a not so favorable way. Cool, calm, and collected. Chilling, minding business. Okay? I just find that funny. Because that's all I see when I see this card. Okay. getting like art, like someone may be creating some sort of art, potentially even like healing art, okay? Um, I'm getting like canvas with like finger painting or like abstract art, just, you know, somebody may either be doing that presently or that could be something that someone could be doing soon. Um, Whether it be like for a hobby, for fun, um, or you end up creating something that is so valuable where, you know, somebody want to pay you for it with the Ace of Pentacles and Queen of Pentacles. Who knows? Who knows? But, you know, if you're someone who likes to play with colors and textures and, you know, paint and be creative, some sort of artist, you know, it won't hurt. It could definitely help. Okay. You might even create some things that, you know, if you are someone who's maybe moving or, you know, you have a studio or something like that, you may be decorating your space with, okay, your own art. I mean, I even got like photo shoot earlier. I don't know. I think I thought about that because I reshared a post from um, a well-known photographer and videographer that I worked with well over 10 years ago. He's actually a pretty cool friend. So, but I thought about, you know, the photo shoot side of things earlier. I was like, I haven't done one of those in so long, but I enjoy doing them. Like, not just with me, I would have like hair models, and then at the time I had my makeup line. So, you know, hair, makeup related, wardrobe. I've done like hair shows and fashion shows and stuff like that. So, this could be, you know, for somebody who does that type of stuff, it may be a good idea to consider exploring that. It could be healing, you know, for you. Like, I'm real good with like numbers and tech, like technical stuff and dealing with that type of stuff for long periods of time. But I notice when it's like that time of the month and like I need a break, that I just like, I tap out. I can't even look at another PDF. If I try to read it, it's not gonna register, nothing's gonna process, so I'm not gonna retain any of the information like that. And if I try to study or whatever, it's just like the things aren't gonna click like they would during the time of the month, where most of the month when that's, you know, it's cool. So I'm finding like when it's like around the time of my cycle, the moon is doing what it's doing, that I need to be in my creative element, my creative bag, just like creating, you know. So whether that's designing my website, I could do that type of stuff, like, you know, colors and shapes and, you know, just designing type of stuff. But if it's too technical, too detailed, I'm just gonna be like over it. It's not even gonna be fun. So someone else could be like that, you know, and with self-awareness, you might be like, I haven't thought about it like that, but yeah, that's me too. Yeah. Different times of the month, you know, our brains, you know, work differently as women, and, you know, our bodies and our minds require different things. And the better we are at honoring that, the better it can be for just our overall well-being. Oh, I've never seen this one before. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm hearing there's levels to vision, to sight, the ability to see, the depths, DEPTHS, like to be able to see and process things. Okay. I'm hearing that you are never alone. You will always have like angels and ancestors that are within you, that are a part of you, that are around you, that guide you and protect you. Their blood is your blood. I definitely feel like I'm talking to like some sort of curse breaker or generational curse breaker. I'm hearing I do it for my bloodline. Okay, so this could be you, or it could be someone who is inspired or moved to dash towards you. With the Six of Wands here, Six of Cups, that's 6-6. Someone recognizes for sure. There may be multiple people, actually, is what I'm getting, that may have, I'm hearing fear of missing out. Multiple people see how victorious you have become, how strong and powerful you have shown yourself to be. And they don't want to lose access to you. So you're going to have people coming towards you. Like, remember me? Remember me? Hey. Some are going to probably do technology. So some people are going to do it directly, okay? Reaching out to you and contacting you. Maybe even popping up and showing up at wherever they know you're going to be. So if you're someone that does appearances or events or something like that, you're going to have people showing up that advise you, okay? Wanting to show their support here. I'm getting that type of energy here. But you may also get people that are reaching out to you via like social media and technology and so forth. Maybe seeing if they still have access to you, okay? Seeing if you're open and willing to communicate with them, okay? You could also have people reaching out to you in regards to opportunities. Okay. I got a very specific message here with this clarifying the High Priestess. Okay, so this could be a ancestor, maybe like a more recent one, okay? It could be like a great grandmother, grandmother, or something like that, depending on if yours are, present or not. But if they are living, and you may haven't talked to them or seen them in a little while, this should be a good opportunity for you to go spend some time, and communicate, get some wisdom, get some light, some love from them, okay? Um, if they're not here, this could be some downloads or some insight that, the passed on loved one wants to share with you in regards to your future, okay? Some information that is going to equip you and prepare you for the next stage in your journey. I got a clear message that she's stating, I'm always with you, okay? I've never left your side. I've seen everything that you've gone through. So I'm speaking to someone with a passed on loved one, maternal figure, someone who has seen your ups and downs, has seen your determination, your strength, and your inability to give up. And this energy has most definitely helped heal you. This could have been, um, like I said, a grandmother, great grandmother, aunt, great aunt, somebody like that that you were close to. You had a very close bond and connection. You know their name, type of energy. And you are a lot like them in many ways. They may have instilled a great deal of wisdom within you. They love you deeply. I'm getting my own grandmother's energy here, and I'm not gonna cry, but I'm definitely getting it here very strong with this high priestess energy, okay? Like the Six of Cups can also be like soulmate type of energy, okay? That reminds you, was clarifying the Queen of Pentacles, okay, with the Six of Wands. So the message here is you are ready for this next stage. You have passed, the test, and we're not talking about the little test that, you know, people thought that they were qualified enough to, be testing you to see, you know, who you are, how you're going to respond to certain situations and things, and if you are as skilled in certain areas and do this and that, like, not those people. We talk about the test from, your spirit team, the divine, the most high God. Okay, this maternal figure, heavenly figure, is saying that you earned your stripes. Okay, you graduated, and nobody can take that from you. And the protection that you have, you earned. and they will be with you to, forever, forever. That was Isis Truths Unveiled. Okay, we have 16 with determination here. Number 7, we have an abundance here of fish. Okay, very fruitful energy. Your confidence, your willpower, your high self-esteem is what makes you as vibrant as you are. It's not something that is stimulated by, something like a caffeine or a pill or, something like that. Although you may, drink or consume caffeinated foods or drinks or something like that, for example, sugar or something like that, but your solar plexus is just, you've done the healing work to balance that with this balance here. And you have a very healthy inner balance that supports your ability to keep getting up and keep going, keep pushing forward, not giving up, not allowing, things that would stop and set the average person back. You just keep going. I'm seeing 76 or 67 could be relevant. Okay, we have 33 with angels and masters. Okay, so again, that is your spiritual alignment with your divine spiritual team, your earth angels, your spirit guides, who are going to always have your back and protect you. Okay. You have earned your wings. I said your stripes earlier, but you have earned your wings. And I'm also getting here that with the balance, 6-6. We got 4 6s here. This is union, okay? Yeah, 22, we got 33 and 22. So it's time for, the angels and the masters. The other day I did a reading and I said the healers and protectors unite or united or something like that. Now we have the angels and the masters, uniting to fulfill their life purpose together in union. And we have 20 here with play, the 2 dolphins, that also represents twin flame energy. So where things may have been heavier, this is the light at the end of the tunnel. This is what all of that hard work, stress, and that fighting spirit was needed for to get here. So yes, you're gonna still have days, moments, and things of the sort where things are going to present their challenges. You know, adversity is not just gonna disappear, but I'm hearing that because of this unity, this union here, you're not gonna feel so alone like you may have felt in the past when it comes to managing and dealing with um, the things that may arise. Okay, you will definitely recognize where you're more supported, whether you're in a actual divine connection with your divine counterpart, okay, and or your soul tribe, okay. This is that soul tribe awakening energy. Let me close out since we got that with our angels of abundance guidance. Let's close this message out. It's so funny, I just looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I probably never wore styles like this because it makes me look so young. I'm like, yo, how old do I look? I look so oh Lord. Definitely, I don't know. Y'all tell me, do I look like I'm about to turn 40 with this hairstyle? Okay, so we have attracting, not chasing. All right, so anything or anyone you chase after will run the other way because of the fears underlying chasing energy. Instead, attract what you need by sending out love, gratitude, and welcoming energy. Okay. I can say transparently that I'm definitely there, you know. I have definitely been clearing my energetic field, making room for, you know, God to send in my divine masculine and for me to be ready, okay? No, things aren't perfect or as ideal as I would like for them to be, but I trust that if he's the one that, you know, when he comes, whatever needs to be done, we'll be able to do that together, okay? Yeah, sever vows of poverty. Dear one, there's no need to suffer or sacrifice. Hold the intention of undoing any vows of poverty or self-denial that you may have made consciously or unconsciously in any lifetime. As you do so, all effects of these vows will be undone for everyone involved in all directions of time. That goes personally with using myself as an example again with, you know, I could have been in the past like, I don't want a relationship if this, and that isn't in order. Like, I wouldn't want to be with a man if I didn't have all of my affairs and my ducks in a row like I would need them to be. But I learned from experience, you know, and other people's experiences that, you know, there's nothing wrong with that if two people both come together, you know, equally in the same position at the same time. But then sometimes also, you know, it can be challenging to know if you weren't in that position and then you didn't have, you know, things to the degree in which you may have them, everything's perfect and laid out and in order and, you know, I's dotted, T's crossed type of stuff, then would this person still see your value and appreciate you and, you know, honor you and treat you the same ultimately? Because a lot of times you find that, you know, people may respect or treat, you know, a person well who they feel like, you know, has material things or external things or tangible things that reflect this type of energy, that they, you know, their life looks like this. So they deserve a certain level of respect. But the truth of the matter is, like, will that person really be that person without those things? You don't know that type of stuff, or you don't know, who will respect, honor, and appreciate you with those type of things unless you meet like that. Unfortunately, that's the reality. So, I see this from all different perspectives at this point, and I've personally severed vows of poverty by, just not worrying about that. Just living my life, and like I stated from the beginning, doing the best that I can to manage everything to the best of my ability. And I'm gonna know who God's sending me, and who's God's not sending me at this, because I've gained that level of discernment that I talked about a lot, but more or less earlier today. I definitely gained that, and trust myself enough to know that you really love me, or you love the idea of me, and being able to recognize the differences and manage them accordingly. I'm just using myself as an example, a real example. Here we go, abundance mindset. Okay, you gotta have the mind that supports, that flow. Okay, if you think of your abundance as something that happens in the future, then it will always be one day away from you. See, feel, think, and speak of abundance as something you already have in the present moment, and that is what you will experience. And in closing, on the bottom of the deck, we have do the work. Okay? It's not enough to dream or pray. You also got to take the positive action steps that you are being divinely guided to take. Consistently working on your priorities will make them flourish like a lush flower garden. Okay? You have bountiful nature, exercise to increase your energy and manifestation abilities. Take a divinely guided chance, no more complaining, and clean energy food. Okay, so most definitely you want to make sure that you're not forgetting to take care of your body, your mind and your spirit, okay? All matter. All are important in sustaining, quality of life, okay? To be able to do what you do and be great, okay? All right, until next time, peace and blessings with a little bit of love sprinkled on the top.